I am Mike Bedard with Cinema Singularity. Apologies for my dog barking. She still doesn't understand what Zooms are. But congratulations so much on So Torn. I had a chance to see it, and it was really one of the more unique film going experiences I've had in a while. So
Oh, great.
congratulations to both of you. Can
Thank
you
you.
Thank you. Can you talk about your characters briefly, and then what your impression was of them and the story as a whole when you first got the script?
Okay, I'm leaving that to you. You go
No,
first.
yeah, you always make me
No
go first.
seniority, but also you know Fred better than me because you did the very first short in LA. So go.
Okay, so I met Fred because when he was at I was in his thesis film for which he ended up winning a Student Academy Award. And
Wow.
so he kept telling me, I'm working on a script, I'm working on a script. And then finally he said, here we are. And so I was very excited because it was such a multidimensional character getting to do all these different things. And the Freds, because father and son worked together, dad and Fred, Freddie and Fred wrote the script. And so I've gotten to know them, and I really feel like a family member with them now because I know the wife of Melissa, who is a magnificent artist, and I also know Sophia, the daughter, who is becoming a lawyer because somebody in the family has to make money, as I said. Caroline.
I got sent the script via the wonderful casting director who I know and love and trust completely. And she just said, do read this. This is a quite amazing kind of father-son duo, which is definitely going to pique your interest. And it's in Switzerland. Just give it a read. And I think he's really talented. And go watch his short film. So I saw Kay in the short film, of course, before I got a chance to meet her. So I was really thrilled to know that she was going to be in it too. And the script is just fabulous. It's so well written. It's so fun. It's quirky is, I guess, the wrong word, really, but it is sort of that. I know he's been compared to the Coen brothers and his approach but it's this worldview that he's just coming in slightly sideways. And the fact that he's so young and he has this really interesting view of the world and ability to write fabulous characters who we don't often kind of necessarily get to do is just such a draw. And increasingly, I'm actually really enjoying working with younger directors, whether they're male or female. I think the older I get, it's just really, really great just to have that sort of new freshness of approach, which also, of course, includes digital and cameras that are really light and different ways of lighting things. Because, those of us who kind of grew up in, what many actually say is the golden age of filmmaking, which is the 90s, where it was, bigger budgets and more time to do everything. And we kind of all got used to that. And now we're working so fast. We're doing so much on the fly, but it's extraordinary what, in fact, you can accomplish when you do that. And it's quite freeing for an actor as well.
Hmm. You mentioned working with younger directors. This is Freddie's first feature length film. What's it like being part of such a pivotal moment in a filmmaker's journey? And was there anything he brought on set that maybe you hadn't seen from a director before?
Okay.
The most polite person I ever saw. He says, it's not like, okay, now we're going to do this. And it's like, okay. I said, all right, if we do this now. It was a very singular experience. And of course, we got to do it in Switzerland in a singular place. I think, Freddie and Fred really, because they do it together, I think that they bring the warmth and humanity of who they are to the set. And then that just trickles to everyone. So it was a wonderful experience. And we'll see, we hope, that when this comes out, that the whole world feels about them the way we do. But it is exciting to be at the beginning of this young man's career.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. And in a strange way, I think as a filmmaker, he's really mature too. He really knows what he wants. So that I think was fantastic for all of us. You know, you're taking a bit of a fly, you go up, you know, he had his 22nd birthday on set, and you never for one moment didn't feel confident and secure and held by his vision, but also by the way that he approached everything. And as Kay said, he is really polite as well.
Well, and he
Kind
has
of
been making,
relaxed.
he's been making films since he was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And his
Yeah.
dad's in the business, and his dad owned an animation. You know, he made props for stop
Filmmaking.
motion animation, and
Yeah.
so he's been around it forever. And then when Freddie is a surfer, and he used to surf every morning in Santa Monica. And when they moved in his high school, the beginning of his high school, he was not a happy camper. And his dad said, "We'll make lots of short films," and he did. So he did a lot, and then he went through AFI. So I think he's seasoned. He's really seasoned at a young age.
Yeah, I think that's really, really true. And it's wonderful to see, and it's wonderful to work in that way too. But also what I also loved, because of course it was a rather low budget, and I just kept thinking this button. And I said, how are you going to do that? How is it going to? And I just had this, I kind of thought, okay, it's going to be done later and it's going to be sort of in post and sort of CGI or something. And they've probably saved up some money to be able to do that. And they said, oh, no, no, we're going to do it in camera. And I said, well, how are you going to do that? And I swear they held up a piece of cardboard, two pieces of cardboard had been stuck together. And it sort of had inside it, it sort of had a little slide. And they said, we've been practicing. And one side was said this way up in biro, and the other side said, do not lose. And that was, and okay, they'll tell you it took rather a long time, but ironically, because I said, I actually have to see this happen. I couldn't believe that it was going to do this. And about the second time they tried, it really did work. And then, of course, they kept going because, of course, you know, the camera wasn't totally ready. And we were like, oh my God, it worked second time round. And when we got on set the next day, I said, how long did you stay to kind of finish that shot? They went, midnight.
Well, the
But
thing is that
I mean, costs nothing.
well, and everything's practical in it.
Yeah,
And what's
everything.
interesting to me,
Even
because I sew, is when I saw the short film first, where the thread does these amazing things. I just took it as more of a fantastical film because I just thought we're taking that leap of faith. But they really have thread that is that strong, and every single thing that they did in it is practical. There's nothing post, there's nothing whatever. And that is amazing to me that I still, as someone who sews, but when you think of dental floss and how heavy dental and how strong dental floss is, but I think that's one of the most interesting things about it.
Yeah, and actually that opening, I have to say, I just love the opening so much when you just see all this thread and everything, and then she pulls the cord and you kind of realize just how lonely she is as well, and she's listening to her mother's voice, and it's such a beautiful setup to that character. And then of course just how inventive it all is. I mean, the whole thread plot, which basically is the plot, is so unbelievably inventive, and the ways that she uses it, and of course that, you know, fantastic kind of almost denouement at the end, you know, with you know, John Lynch's character, but actually the bit with you know, oh my God, you know, the biker.
Ron?
Yeah, no, 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 the biker and the chair and the stairs, and that is so early on in the movie, and everyone who watches are just killing themselves, and it's just inspired. I mean, it truly is.
You're both associate producers on So Torn. How did that come about? What made you decide you wanted to uh, produce as well as star in the film?
Okay.
Caroline?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you know, I've actually actually produced before. I actually wrote and produced a film called The
She's
Bear's
done a whole film all
Silence.
by herself. She understands
But
financing and everything.
yeah, but in fact, you know, it's also a way for them to just be able to kind of share around, because it was a fairly low budget movie,
Mhm.
and you know, point was, listen, we'd love to, you know, this is a team, we want you involved, are you up for it? We'll give you associate producer credits, and then, you know, we'll all kind of share in anything that comes up at the end. And also, if you have any expertise or anything you want to, you know, say or put in, then, you know, we're really open to that. And you know, Kay, of course, has worked with Freddie now 3 times, so of course she really should be an associate producer, or more than an associate producer. But you know, she was putting so much in, and yeah, we all did, and it's just a really nice way to kind of finance and make movies.
Mm. That's so wonderful to hear. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time to speak with me today, and I can't wait for everyone else to see So Torn when it comes out.
Yeah, and a
Thank you,
shout out to
Mike.
Eve, because her performance is amazing, and Kay's performance is
Yeah.
unbelievable. She just makes me laugh so much.
Thank you for being such a fan of the movie. We're really excited for it to open this weekend.
Yeah.